Hiya. Today I wanted to sit in front of a camera and chat with y'all about the concert that I just went to. I had a much better intro in my head and it's gone now, so that sucks for you.
Sorry.
I went to go see The Fall of Troy in Houston for their Doppelganger anniversary tour. So I live a ways away, a chunk of space and time away from Houston. It was an endeavor to get there, but worth it. I've never been to Texas before, and I've always, every band ever is like, Texas, you're the best. Texas, we love you. The Texas shows are always so much fun. And I was like, what is in the water? What's going on? Like, why is it every single band ever has this experience? I want that experience. And I figured out why. Maybe it's not why, but I have a theory. My partner and I drove on over to Texas. It was very cool. I was very disappointed by their display of crossing the state line. It was just this tiny little sign that said, Texas state line. And maybe that was just the way that we were going, because it was over a bridge, but they can put nice signs on bridges, like anywhere in West Virginia. I feel like every time I go to West Virginia, it's across a bridge, you know? And they always have a nice, pretty, peaceful sign that's big and pretty and colorful. So that's my first negative point for Texas. I've also never been to Buc-ee's, and I've heard people raving about it, and I had a little bit of FOMO. It worked out so fucking perfectly. I bought a whole swimsuit because I thought it would be funny, and we go to check out. We turn to the left, the rain outside. It was so nice. It was so nice to be sitting in a temperature-controlled, sturdy building and not even realize it was thunderstorming as much as it was outside. The Buc-ee's was great. I'm sorry, I'm on the Buc-ee's train right now. The clouds were so pretty, and I don't know, I fucking love storms. So it was like, I got to go to a state I've been wanting to go to for the longest time. I got to have a Buc-ee's experience. I got to witness this beautiful storm, like crazy low clouds. It didn't hail or anything, but the rain was heavy. It glowed. The sky glowed this really like eerie teal. And I was having the fucking time of my life. I just feel like that was such a nice intro to the state of Texas. Houston was so interesting. I've never been. I didn't know what to expect. It was so city. It was so concrete and city, but it was so breathable. The sidewalks were like 3 times the size of normal city sidewalks. And so it just never felt crowded or like the concrete was suffocating you. I always get so nervous before concerts, especially when I'm going to a new venue. I fear the unknown. I fear the unexpected. Once I'm inside and I have a beer in my hand, I'm fine. It is literally just, where do I park? Oh my God, we have to circle the block. What if people know that I missed the parking garage? What if they know that I'm going to this? I wore my fucking A Lot Like Birds shirt to the show, and I walked there with my hands covering the text that said A Lot Like Birds. For what? They know. The people in line at the show know. It's fine, you know? My favorite thing to do to piss off bartenders is to say,
"Can I get a beer?"
And they go,
like, what kind of beer?
And I go,
"Just any beer."
And some of them, I'm not trying to piss them off. I'm genuinely indecisive, and sometimes bars want to like rep the local company, and I love trying new beers and I love trying things from small breweries. I walked up to the bartender and I was like, "Can I get any beer?" And she was like, "Oh, can I get you this thing?" And I had not heard of it, and I was like, "Yeah, no, like anything." And she just, I've never had beer served this way. I'm sure this is a common thing. She just like put salt on the whole side of the beer can, and I fucking love salt. Can you imagine the twinkle in my eyes? My mouth is watering talking about it, actually. I was like, you get me. Oh my God, I've never felt so seen. And that's kind of the moral of the story for this whole concert, actually. I had all these anxiety thoughts in my head, and then she handed me a beer with salt. Thank you. I didn't know that Origami Button was gonna be there. When they started to like play, I was like, who decided you were gonna be here? They were supposed to be there the whole time. I guess I just don't follow them, and nobody else that was promoting the show was tagging them and stuff that I saw. So it was unexpected. So I think I've seen them before a couple years ago. They're not my favorite band, but I enjoyed them. This time, I don't know what was going on or what changed because I don't keep up with them. The lead singer just kept apologizing for being there, and the first couple times he was like,
Yeah, we're just gonna play a couple songs and then get out of your way because we don't even stand up to.
I don't know why I'm holding a microphone in this hand when I actually have a microphone in this hand. I thought he was trying to be funny. The like fourth or fifth time he said stuff like that, I was like, dude, are you okay? You're supposed to be here. It just felt like imposter syndrome-y, but like in a way that was kind of unprofessional to me. People came to see them. Like there were specific people in the crowd. They were cheering, they were singing along to every word. You're supposed to be there. These people probably came to see you, and you're just gonna get on stage and mope and be like,
Sorry for being here.
it broke any enjoyment I could have had watching them. Like, yeah, I didn't know that you were gonna play, but I was excited when you came on, and then over the course of your set, I got less and less excited that you were a surprise band for me. Maybe they were just having a bad day? So I had listened to Closure in Moscow, but they also aren't really my vibe. But I think they sold me. Their set was fantastic. They were so fun and energetic. There are some bands that just get up there and play, and there are some bands that get up there and like really reel the crowd in, and I feel like they did just that. Like the energy off of them was so contagious, and they're just like a fantastic opener. I'm sure they'd be a fantastic headliner. It was just like exactly the pick-me-up that everyone needed at that point. Yeah, I don't have much else to say other than it was so fun. They were so fun. And I gotta say, after the show, the only songs that were stuck in my head were theirs. Like, they're very, very catchy. So yeah, it was fun all around. But that's kind of all I have to say about them. Oh, I think somebody in the band was wearing the same shorts that I bought at Buc-ee's on stage. And so... And then A Lot Like Birds went on next. They were who I came to see. Their sets are always so much fun. And man, I always have the fucking time of my life because I hate unknowns. I always check the set list before the show so there's no like curveballs. I know what to expect. I know what songs to like listen to hype myself up. I think Houston was like the third night on this tour, so I only had a couple days to figure out what their set list was. The set list that someone initially uploaded, there was only one song on it that I don't know super well, and I was like,
Cool. That's fine if they want to do that.
I checked back the second night and someone had changed it, and there were 2 songs on it that I had recently that I've recently become obsessed with, and I was like, no fucking way, that's too good to be true. They're not gonna play this song. You guess what song they played? So the person who had edited the set list was right. I don't know what the first person thought. They played a couple songs that I just never thought that I would hear live. It was just such a treat. Man, it's gonna be so cringy to watch this back. No, cringe is dead. I can never be cringy. I really enjoyed it. A Lot Like Birds was great. And then The Fall of Troy came next. And I've not seen them live, and I wasn't super duper familiar with Doppelganger, which was most of their set list, but I listened to it a few times before, so I knew like the vibe of all the songs. Some of the A Lot Like Birds boys came out to help sing a couple songs, and it just felt like they were hanging out, which made the crowd feel like we were hanging out. It was very high energy, but friendly, and I always get excited to see other people excited. Seeing bands live makes me appreciate the music a lot more most of the time. But in this case, absolutely. So I feel like I do have this different relationship with the album because I saw it live, and I can remember all the smiley, happy faces and just like the feeling of being in the crowd. I do have one complaint though. Holy moly. I've never had this happen at a show. I'm not like a conventionally attractive person. I'm not someone who like does anything to look available, you know? But this man, so my partner was there with me. The millisecond that my partner left to go sit outside and breathe a little bit after the A Lot Like Birds set, this man stood next to me, and I'm gonna do my best to like recreate what he did. You tell me what this sounds like, okay? Give me a sec. As soon as my partner was not standing next to me anymore, how do I demonstrate this? This man stood next to me here. I was just standing with my arms crossed, you know, bouncing along to whatever music they were playing in between sets. This man is right here. He keeps like leaning over to me until we're like touching. And then I go, oh, like, sorry. And I step a little further over, and then he doesn't acknowledge me at all, and he just keeps leaning over to me. And so I just like shifted and moved my arms a little this way. He kept moving this way until he was still touching me, and then I turned a little, like I kept turning a little bit and stepping a little bit and shifting my arms over, and he always like found a way to shift himself so that he kept being in contact with me. What is that about? This man just kept inching closer to me, and I was this close to turning around to him and being like,
Hey man, hi, how are you doing today?
In my head, I was thinking, if you want my attention, just break the silence in any way. You could even say,
Man, I'm so excited for the fall of Troy.
like literally anything to not make it creepy. When the Fall of Troy started playing, I don't know how to describe this at all. You know what? The chair is me. The chair is me. I'm standing right here. The entirety of the set, he had his whole body pressed against me with his hands on my shoulders. Like when they were playing, his whole body was like actually pressed against me, shoulder to knees, and it was very uncomfortable. But then as soon as they stopped playing, he like stood back, almost like he was trying to hide himself and be like,
Oh, the crowd is just pushing me into you.
and like, that's weird, right? I kept trying to rearrange my spot in the crowd. There were times where I would jump in at the mosh pit and try to like exit at a different spot, and he always found me again. I would be like, cool, I lost him. And then I would just feel somebody pressed up against me again and kind of like look over, and it was him still. But he was pushing against me hard enough that I was pushing against somebody else. So I was like sandwiched in between two men almost the entire time. But it's just the silent, like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge you, but I'm gonna like put my hand on your shoulder and press my body up against you. And, oh, I'm gonna put my arm like this so that I protect you from the people in the mosh pit. I hate when men do that. I don't know what they're thinking, but like, I have autonomy, actually. Let me know if that's weird or if I'm overthinking it. To this man, do you know that was so creepy of you? Do you know? Like, I don't know what your goals are. Maybe you didn't realize that you were doing it. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. In the event that you did not realize that you were being creepy, I'm telling you right now that was creepy. Aside from him doing that, which I am just gonna tell myself that he wasn't aware of how creepy it was and that it was totally innocent, you know? He didn't mean to. Aside from that, the show was fantastic. Yeah, my theory about why Texas shows are so fun is that everybody's so fucking nice, but everybody's very, like, tough. I love shows where people just kind of like go super hard, go all out. Like you can feel that people are there to have this moment of catharsis and like exerting whatever energy you need to like reset your brain, you know? Everybody just went all out. People would punch each other in the face and then turn around and hug, but like you knew that they don't know each other, you knew that they're strangers, but that's so sweet. It reminded me of when I started to get into concerts, what I remember feeling at those shows. Like everybody's watching out for each other. There's kind of this unspoken rule, but it's really for everybody's safety. Like you do you, but don't harm somebody intentionally. Don't be weird to somebody intentionally. Yeah, Texas was just like one of the hardest crowds that I've seen in this genre, but also one of the sweetest crowds. Like my beef with Louisiana shows is that everyone is nice to a fault. Not to a fault. It's not to. They're so nice. They give each other so much space. They're so afraid of bumping into you, but Texas is like, I'm not afraid to fuck you up, but also I'm gonna turn around at the end of the song and like say, hey man, that was great. Thanks for like moshing with me, thanks for dancing with me. And like it's just this acknowledgement of community, I guess, but not holding back the parts of yourself that do want to kind of like dance around. I don't know how to explain it, but that's my theory on why Texas shows are great. Everyone goes hard as fuck, but then everybody's nice as fuck. It's like the perfect combo, the perfect amount of each of those things to make it just a great experience overall, unless you're a creepy man. Him and the state line sign were the only bad things about Texas. But yeah, the fall of Troy was so fun. Like, you could feel the love bouncing around the room. You could feel the excitement and the happiness. It's just pure joy when you go to shows like this. It was the perfect length as well. Usually, I feel satisfied when a couple, 1 or 2 songs from the end, I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with this wrapping up. I'm getting tired. That's like the sweet spot. And it landed perfectly. But after the show, I bought too much merchandise from A Lot Like Birds. And once again, made a fool of myself talking to the merch guy, because I just sat there and I was like, yeah, I'm all the way here from Louisiana, blah, 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 blah. And can I get this? And can I get this? And I saw you here, but I didn't. Like, I just talked way too much. But then what I'm learning from moving to the South is that everything that I was taught about, like,
Don't say too much. No one really cares about you.
or whatever is just not true. The more that I just let myself blab on about whatever, the better the experience I have. Because if I just blab in Ohio, people are like,
God, you're overbearing.
but if I blab anywhere else, everyone's like,
Oh, neat. You're a person. Thanks for telling me that story.
but yeah, everybody in line for merch was super sweet. The merch guy was super sweet. All the staff that worked at the venue was like fantastic and super nice. Just like a great all around experience. 10,000 out of 10 recommend. I get it. I get Texas now. I understand buc-ee's and I understand Texas. So yeah, that was my experience going to this show, and I have nothing more to say. Bye!